Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the RoadMap podcast. I've got another Matt to bring with you today. I'm super excited for you guys to meet him. He's been crushing it, and his name, if you don't know him yet, you will soon. We got Matt Ruzika here from Ohio. How's it going today, brother?
Good. Thanks for having me on, Matt.
100%, man. Have you ever done a podcast before? Or is this the first one for you?
First one, I've done the Zooms, but I don't think those count as the same thing.
Cool. Sounds good. Nothing quite like this set, right?
Nope.
Awesome,
We're
man.
fancy today.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the dressed clothes on and everything for us.
Yep, dressed up for us.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate it, man. And I'm super excited to have you here. It's a very virtual business, so it's always fun being in person. I always love getting to be around you and your guys.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, man. You've been here a little bit of time, but I don't think a lot of people have heard much about you. So I'd like for people to get to know you a little bit more. And then also, you've learned a lot in the business. We always do, always will, and always continue learning. So I'm hoping for you to be able to share, let us in on some of that stuff. The deeper we get, the more helpful to be to everyone out there. So I'm looking forward to learning some of that stuff, and we'll hear what your goals are too. We'll put you on the spot and get some goals out of you too. So I'm excited, man. Let's get started though. Introduce yourself a little bit if you could. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, what you've done, and then we'll get into how you found this. But just kind of what did life look like for Matt Ruzika growing up?
Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit on the younger side, young at 23, about to turn 24 in a couple days here. So from Columbus, Ohio, born and raised there. Always thought I wanted to leave, but it's a great place once you grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
But who I am, I came from a sales background. I've always done that ever since I was a younger age. I've never wanted to go and do any sort of like fast food job or work in stock shelves. It just wasn't my gig. So I immediately...
You got to be talking.
What?
You got to be talking.
Yep. I got to be talking there. So it's if you can tell now, I'm a chatty Cathy, so it fits well. But I started from a young age there. Did Men's Warehouse at like 15, so that was my first gig, slinging suits.
Love it.
Transitioned. I've done. I shouldn't say everything under the sun sales wise. I've done the door to door, so the nitty gritty. I've done the cushy commercial jobs where I get my free coffee and nice AC unit in the office all day, but. Everything I liked a little bit, but it had its downs. So I have always kind of moved on to that next opportunity, trying to find exactly where I fit. I feel like I have found a little bit more of that because I'm looking for hard work, or I should say, place to work hard, easy, not easy, but quick results if you work and put in the time. But also, I want some flexibility.
Got it.
So
that's tough to find if you're looking for all those ingredients at the same time, I feel like.
Definitely, which results in bumping around to a couple different industries.
Yeah. It's almost like, have you ever heard that I don't know if you'd consider it a joke or a meme, but if you're looking for food, it can be cheap, good, or fast, and you can pick two of them, I feel like that's kind of what you're describing in the sales industry, though, You can be flexible, or you can make good money, or
maybe
it can be faster, but definitely it's a struggle to find all of them.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you were looking for that, and struggling to find it. So where were you what were you doing when you first heard about Family First?
So I was in my cushy commercial stage there.
Okay.
I don't come from I don't have any crazy background story, just a suburban kid who had good opportunities from his parents and liked to think that he maybe tried to capitalize on some of those or listen as well as I could. But where I came from was I was selling commercial energy, so calling businesses up, which if they're answering the phones, they already have electric. So that was something that So I came from the commercial energy space. I was there for about 3 years. I was making plenty of money. Out of school, 6 figures. I was cushy, happy. A lot of people can be content with that. But it was the monotony.
Especially in young 20s.
Definitely.
To be able to hit 6 figures in young 20s is fairly rare.
Right. And so I was content with that for a little bit until I realized, wow, I don't want to be working for someone else my rest of my life. And if I do have to work hard, because it's not like we don't work hard here at FFL, probably work more than I did at my 40-hour job, but it was the monotony of being in somewhere 8 to 5 every single day, doing the same stuff, same over and over, knowing that I'm technically working for someone else. So
and there's no light at the end of the tunnel really in that place either.
It's all a boys' club. So if you weren't having drinks with the execs or golfing with them, you were not going to get that promotion no matter how good you did.
That's tough.
Yep.
And that's frustrating because
definitely
maybe you want to go have drinks with your friends or your girlfriend or be with your family.
Maybe I don't like you enough to go have drinks. Yeah. We're at work.
You don't want to kiss the ring. You don't.
Yep.
And that's I feel like that's a lot of places. I've been in that corporate place as well, where you look up the ladder and you don't like what you see.
Nope.
Don't like what you see at
No.
all. And so you were open to other stuff. And fill us in. How'd you hear about Family First?
So that's the part I laugh about a little bit there. So I stopped my job in June, took a severance package, just said enough is enough.
And had you heard about Family First at that point?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
So you were
Not
just
at all.
done.
I was done. I mean, it was to the point they had. I'm not going to go into it, divulge too much,
yeah.
but they had promised one thing, came back and told you something completely different. Hey, you don't have to hit your quotas every single month. We're not like that. We're not a cut you off. Miss 1 month of quotas by $2,000, and hey, you're out of here, pal. So rubbing the wrong way, I was fully done. So June marked a severance. I was searching.
To interrupt you, I feel like there's a ton of people that have been there though. That's corporate world in a nutshell.
Betrayal. Yeah.
It's to say one thing, do another.
Yep.
And it might not even necessarily be one person's fault. They might have good intentions, but they don't get to make the decision.
Right.
That decision's rolling all the way up from the top.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how friendly you are with your boss, or maybe you've had the drinks with the boss, and it doesn't save you from something like that.
Exactly. And that's kind of why I felt like I was just being pawned around more or less. So I was super done. I would rather have no paycheck coming in than than have something, because I just knew that I needed. It's like a baby bird getting pushed out of the nest. Like, you are scared, you don't want to, but you just got to take the fall and see kind of where it leads.
Yeah.
So
now we're jobless.
We're jobless. Step one. I thought that having a triple major from college, we're supposed to get all these great jobs like mom and dad tell us our whole lives, but I was getting offered 40. I mean, I interviewed for, multiple positions, multiple different big name companies, got offered a few of them, and I turned down 3 or more offers because they were telling me I'm worth $45,000 a year. And I just came from making way more than that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, trying to add up the pieces. There's no work. Everyone's there's no one to hire. And I have all this experience. Why am I not getting what I was envisioning this entire time, or what everyone else was envisioning? And then I realized this isn't my vision, to go work a cushy job 8 to 5 for $50,000 a year. I know I'm worth more than that. So for me, Drew Jones, one of my good friends from college, had contacted me in June as soon as he had heard that I was done. He goes, "Hey man, I got a new gig going." Now Drew and I are serial entrepreneurs, so that's not the first time I've heard it.
Exact same term.
That's
You're
not
like, oh boy.
Yeah, well, here we go again. As soon as he let the word insurance, life insurance, leak out of his mouth, I literally stopped him right there. I was like, dude, I don't want to sell life insurance. I would never do that, ever. And okay, man. Like, he didn't push or anything. Like, we're good buds. He, kept feeding the fire a little bit as we were going, showing me this or that. We'd go grab a drink. He'd be like, I made $1,200 today. I made, helped 5 families last week. Kind of got me interested. And then I got to a point to where I had one last final interview for a big, cushy job. I got all the way through to the final round. They basically were like, it's down to 2 people here. We'll reach out to you. Thought I had it in the bag. Turn around, they're like, we're not going to take you. You hit everything. You're too young.
Oh boy.
So So I had a oh crap moment, because I was 2 months without a job. My savings was running out.
Yep.
Fall was starting back up, so I felt like summer break. It was time for me to kind of get my butt in order. I called Drew at about 11 p.m. Answers the phone. I go, Drew, I don't know what you're doing, but just tell me what I need to do, where I need to sign up, who I need to call. I have to do something. Like, I will do whatever you want. Like, are you sure this isn't a scam? Okay, man, I'm in. So it went from a very 180 of I will never do this to I have to do something. Like, just get me in. Yeah.
It's all about timing.
So
100%.
It was the right time, but
that's it.
I don't regret looking back. Yeah.
And that was July, August?
Yeah, that was, let's see. That was August, end of August, because then I started my process of getting into all this the beginning of September, selling by September 30th.
Love it. Okay, awesome, man. So now you've been here just over 7 months or so, which sounds like no time at all, but in
Time's
our world,
flying.
it might as well be 7 years, right?
Yeah.
So you got in, you were skeptical to a certain point, but you saw the money, you saw the legitimacy. It's like, oh, you have to be licensed by the state.
Right.
Oh, that's real money depositing from an A-rated insurance company into
Yeah.
your account.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not just
got
getting
it.
handed cash. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that one. It's not that one. So, got over that. Through one last attempt at corporate America, you gave him one last shot. Please be everything that I thought you were cracked up to be.
Yep.
And they said, nope, sorry, we're gonna let you down, bud.
Nope.
We're gonna let you down. That's what
Yeah.
we do here.
Yep.
And so then you're like, all right, it's time. It's
Yeah.
time. Let's get to it. So now you're here. It's September, October of 2022, and sales. You've done
Yeah.
sales before.
Yep. Yep.
So how were the first couple weeks?
I mean, with every experience, especially sales, you have to be humble. I knew, and I'm not the best. I'm still not the best at being humble. I think that's something everyone should always be working on or always improving. If you think you're to the max point of humble, you're probably not humble enough.
Right.
It's like the absolute opposite of what it is. So for me, I mean, coming into this, I had sales experience. You don't need any of that to be able to get into a business like that. You just have to be able to work hard, put in the number, and understand that it's a numbers game. Just like any sort of sales out there, yes, you have your client relation and your little value adds and this and that, but if you only talk to 3 people and try and bet yourself on closing one of those 3 people or helping one of those to pay your bills, like it's not going to happen no matter how good you are. So for me, coming into this, I knew that I needed to be a loser fast. Like I love to lose. Something I learned back in the day was something that my door-to-door manager told me when I was moaning and groaning about getting kicked off of porches and this and that. And he just goes, dude, every time you get a no, you should be happy. You should be skipping to the next house because then you're one step closer to that yes. Yeah. And it became a mindset switch of, gosh, this sucks, knocking 100 doors a day, to where I go, that's door number 98 that told me no. I got 2 more until I get that yes. So it became a needle in the haystack, but also my understanding of, this is a numbers game. If I'm here to work, I have halfway good skill level. If I just put in the activity and put my head down and work, there's no way that you can't succeed. So coming into sales, I tried to keep my ego aside. You have to be able to learn, which I'm still trying to do that now. But I feel like it maybe helped me, but it's definitely not essential by any means. It was just maybe a little easier for me to get in the rhythm of being on the phone all the time because I already was. But
yeah,
it was a crazy roller coaster. It still is, this whole business.
It really is, and it's a fun one for that. And I know you've been at the top of the leaderboards quite a few times here. So what's been your biggest month? How many families have you helped in your biggest month here so far in 7 months?
Biggest month, and I say it a little jaded. I biggest month was last month, like $39,600, like some change, right? Right at the cusp. We
just missed that 40.
It was burning.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I were refreshing the page like the night of, going, man, we just got to find one more. Like I just need 500 more. Because, but it's that was my biggest month, 39,000. I think biggest week was like 23 families or something helped. Okay. So that's huge. That's huge. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, and that's better than a lot of people can say. But also I can see very clearly, and I think the audience can too, that you're not super happy with that. And that's how crazy is that, right? Because think about 8-9 months ago, you hear those numbers and you're like, man, that's insane.
Yeah, 39 families.
That?
Yeah.
And then to come here and see what that does for your bank account and how simple it is to do that. I mean, you weren't doing that month 1. You had a learning curve to go through. Yeah. But you've also been able to experience some flexibility too. And I know you have a girlfriend and she's got stuff going on. You've got stuff going on. So speak a little bit about that. Did you benefit from that flexibility immediately, or what's been that process for you?
So I think the process itself, it's I mean, just for like anyone else, it's been up and downs. But I'm trying to keep that more consistent steadiness throughout it. But for me, the flexibility was everything. I mean, that's a main reason of why I left my last job. Not to say I now am here and suddenly working 20 hours a week, making helping 40 families a month. I'm probably working more than I was at my corporate job, but it's worth it to me because on the days where, like, hey, I have my grandmother's birthday to go to, or hey, my best friend's getting married, I don't have to crawl to the HR team and go, can I have these couple days off?
Please, sir, just one day will
one
be
more
fine,
day,
sir.
please. So now what I do is I just work my freaking butt off before 2 days leading up to, sometimes on the day of, wherever I'm going, because that's the nice thing about working remote. I can do it in the car or wherever has Wi-Fi. Now I just kind of front load, work harder, and go do whatever I need to do, and it puts a lot less stress on me at least. And for my family, we are very spontaneous. Just call them up and, hey, can you be here, be now? Like, we're going to have dinner. And it's frustrating sometimes, but I like getting out and spending time with my family. So flexibility to me is incredibly important. This job provides nothing but it. In the beginning, maybe not. Calling 400, 500, 600 people, running 10, 12 appointments a day. That looks like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I still do that most days. But for me, it's bought in those momentary times of flexibility. And I know that in the future, when my friends my age are still clocking in their 9 to 5s, I'll be, I'm still going to be working, but I'm not going to be clocking.
It's not gonna look like that.
I'm not going to be punching a card for someone else. So
Yeah.
I know that biting the bullet now is going to be a little bit, healthier and more flexible.
That's
just a
huge.
better life on in the future.
Yeah, it's that delayed gratification. It's structuring that time off, and it's okay. Yeah, I suck right now, so I need to put in the time to where I don't suck.
Yep.
So that way it can be flexible, because I think it's technically possible, but I don't think a brand new agent would be super successful in a passenger seat of a car on the highway
Nope.
helping
No.
a client.
Yeah.
But when you've done it 800 times,
Yeah.
it's fairly straightforward to just take them through the old process and help them out. And
Right.
you've done that before, and I'm sure you'll be doing that plenty other times.
Yeah.
And this thing can go with you and work with you if you do it right. That's
Right.
why I wanted to ask you about that, because I think a lot of people hear, wow, flexible, work from anywhere, and they come in thinking that they get to take a vacation to Hawaii on week 2
Yeah.
because they can work remote. It's like, come on.
Yeah. I mean,
If
we
it
own a
sounds-
business at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's you're running a business, and if it sounds too good to be true, let's deal in reality here.
Yeah.
But the cool part is, we do push those bounds a lot of times, because when you do show up to work, the amount of money you make seems a little too good to be true.
Yeah.
And when you help a client on the road, and that's more than you made in 2 weeks at the cushy corporate job, and you're in your shorts and a tank top jamming out on the highway,
Yeah.
helping a client, like that's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty
a big
good.
uplifting feeling, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's awesome, and I appreciate you sharing that, because that's I wanted that to be clear to people that, hey, that's not what this is.
No.
It's not a get rich quick. It's not hey, all you got to do is call these hot fresh buyers that are throwing their account and routing number at you.
Right, yeah.
But they are people that took a step, and you will make a ton of money if you're able to help them. So let's just help you figure out how to help them at a high level.
Yeah.
And then it's lights out from there.
And that's what it is. If you believe in yourself, you can work hard, and obviously you want to have something more than just like to everyone their own. Everyone has different goals. Not everyone wants to have a ton of money. Not everyone
Yeah.
wants to have a big house. Not saying that those things are all in all in life. I see having money as not buying material things, but being able to take care of the people around me. Like
Yeah.
that's what I've always wanted. I don't want to get rich to go blow it all at the clubs and buy private jets and do whatever crazy stuff that rich people do. I just want to not see my family and friends struggle. Not like I want to be a poorhouse giving out money left and right.
Yeah.
But when you hear, I'm just making up examples, so-and-so not being able, like I never want to, and this is so far in the future, I hate saying the word kid, but if I ever do have a kid in the future, I don't want to tell him, hey buddy, that soccer camp you want to go to, sorry man, we don't got the money for it. Dad's got to work. Like
Yeah.
my dad, and I think that did it for me. We didn't come from a big background of money or anything. My dad worked his butt off. He also was a serial entrepreneur. I look back on the times when he was mad or in a bad mood, and as a kid I didn't understand why, but now I see why, because he never told us no. Like, not in a bad way where we were spoiled, but if we wanted to do something, an opportunity or this or that, or a summer camp of some sort, he didn't go, sorry pal, not in the budget. Which I know you can't give your kid everything and anything. You want to give them that, but like, you don't want to cut them off
Yeah,
opportunity
you want
wise
to give
either.
them every chance they have in life to stand on your shoulders and
If
succeed.
not more. Yeah. So I know that's really far down the path, but I just want to be able to take care of the people around me.
Yeah, that's huge, and I think it's so freeing and unique to feel that you have complete control over that.
It's scary too.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
But thankfully we're a part of a team and a culture where it's all you, but it's not all you.
You can make it all you, and put yourself on an island and you're not going to do well. But yeah, if you keep your ear to the ground and rub elbows with the right people, you're going to be fine. Which
100%.
I think is obviously a lot of people do insurance in this world, but I think we're doing it right here.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, it's a really cool opportunity. So appreciate you sharing all that, man. Story is incredible. I think you're going to speak to a lot of people. That corporate world sucks you in, and it's tough to get out. It's
Definitely.
tough to get out, but respect the move that you made,
Yeah.
getting out, and I think that will probably, hopefully, give a lot of people that see this encouragement to be like, oh, okay, if he can do it, I can probably do it too, and why don't I do it with him so I can learn from him too?
And that's what validated it for me was I mean, sure, I believed in myself, but obviously everyone gets beat up when I got in here and helped 10 families my first week and then had almost all of it charged back. I was really, like, I even called you. It was like, Matt, I'd rather be stocking shelves. Like, at least I know my paycheck's coming in.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just like you said, once you realize you put the work in and everything, there
Yeah.
is no other place
It all
for
works
if
out.
that's what you want in life. The things we just talked about, like there is no other vehicle to do it in.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad you brought that up too, because that's a lot of people's concern about our industry is, wait, don't people cancel? It's like, well, yes. And in your corporate sales gig, you had people that would cancel.
You're just not
In my
worried about
corporate
it.
sales gig,
Yeah.
there were people that cancel.
Yeah.
They just pay you so little that they can afford to take the hit. Or like in my gig, I would take the hit on my next paycheck and it would come out of, but they just weren't paying me much commission. So it wouldn't, they give you that nice little salary
Right.
to keep you in there. But here we get paid as business owners. Jeff Bezos doesn't lay awake at night having fits because I returned my Amazon package. He doesn't even know I exist.
If he did, he'd be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he wants actually to make it easier for me to do that because he knows I'm going to be back.
Right.
But I think agents, especially new agents, they get trapped in the emotions of this business. But that's not necessary. You don't have to be there. It can be an emotional business because you put your heart and soul into it.
Right.
You quit your job, right? You put money in, you spend time investing in it, and then to feel like you're going backwards is a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
But I think it's all about, well, what is really happening here?
Yeah.
You're making progress. People are going to change their mind, just like they do in any aspect of life, in anything
Right.
that they buy. Sometimes the longest line at Walmart is in the returns section, but that's fine as long as the cash registers aren't closed.
Yeah.
And as a new agent, you are the cash registers.
Definitely.
And if you stop working, the cash registers are closed and you have no control over the returns department. As far as shutting it down, people will always return stuff when they feel like it.
Yeah.
But in this industry, on average, about 30% will.
Yeah.
And you know that number, and you can even get it a little bit better than that too. But as long as you know that number, stay unemotional and keep going to work,
Yeah.
it still works out. Is that what you found?
I would say so. I mean, just to say it is a lot, easier than doing it because even I still get emotional in this business. But I felt like after a certain amount of time, I think it was probably like the first real big like aha moment was the conversation I had with you when I called you and we had who knows how long of a conversation. I basically told you like if I don't start seeing some results, like I have to leave. I have bills
course.
to pay. Like I said, I'd rather be stocking shelves.
Yeah.
And you said, just like you told me in the very beginning, reminded me of exactly what we're doing here. Like you have to think of the bigger picture. You can't focus on every little negative thing. You have to take the small wins, which that's in any sort of business. But as soon as I started doing that and removing the emotion out of it, my commission breath is gone. I feel lighter. I'm not as pressured that I have to close every single sale. And I started seeing the results to where now when I'm tested emotion-wise, I can tell how much more mature and how much more on top of things I am because just for example, last week, I'm more than 10K in credit card debt. I got almost nothing in the bank and I have thousands of dollars in leads coming out. Me 5 or 6 months ago, I would have crippled.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I probably would have hid in my room, like, and just under the bed for like a week. Like as terrible as that is to say, like I just used to shut down.
It's a scary place to be.
I knew this time that I just had to get up. I had to keep working like the debt was not there and get out there and help some freaking families. And that's exactly what I did. And that's really in a week's time, I turned all of it around. I paid off all my debt. And now I got something back in my bank account. And I've realized, wow, I shouldn't be lazy again and make sure I'm getting up every day, buying my leads, going out there and helping the families. Because like you said it yourself, it can be an emotional drag if you let them in. But over time, you're going to get stronger, more resilient, and you're going to realize and be able to pull your own self out. I'm not having to call you every 5 minutes and go, I'm freaking out, Matt. So
Yeah, we've got it up to 5 hours now. We're making good progress.
so little by little, little by little. So,
No. Yeah, that's huge.
emotion's a big thing, but you can master it or you can let it control you.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's important to also realize and take kind of extreme ownership, like we heard Jocko talk about at our conference. Take extreme ownership of those situations too, because when you talk about being in that tight spot, we also have to look at, well, like you said, like, well, how'd I get here?
Yep. From a lot of compounding bad decisions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's embrace the suck. I like that from Jocko. That
Yeah.
was good because I don't want to sit down and get up early because I owe all this money, and I am going to though. Like I'm going to make it happen. So yeah, it's you got to embrace the suck.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's good and bad, just like any opportunity, but here you can control it.
Definitely.
If you want to be stressed out, if you want to be in debt, if you want to be in over your head, don't go to work.
Yeah, and that's the fact of it. That's
Yep.
true.
And if you want to not be in that situation, you fix it by going to work. And if you never want to be in that position again, keep going to work and work on consistency.
Yep.
And help other people do it just like you're doing.
Right.
And there you go. Problem is
Perfect
solved.
formula.
Problem is solved. But I think
Almost
a lot of
perfect.
people, I know, yeah, 100%. I think a lot of people like myself, we get attracted at the beginning by how much money you can make so quickly. And we get very selfish and kind of immature in our thinking.
Yeah.
We think, oh, okay, cool. So I can slack off now. And that consistency is what
Yeah.
keeps you going. Not to say that you have to sling insurance for the next 20 years of your life.
Yeah.
But also you can't work hard for a week and take a week off.
No.
When you have no type of residuals built up, when you have no experience, no team supporting you, nothing that you've built, and it's all on you, it's a bad position to be in.
Definitely.
So I think it's good to help people see the good, bad, and ugly
Definitely.
of this business.
Yeah.
And because the unique thing here is there's no smoke and mirrors. It's like, hey, here's the good, here's the bad, here's the ugly. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
That's huge.
And I said it's hard earlier because it's all up here. Like people, you can tell people that all day long, but some people just can't get over that hump. So that's why some people fail, some people quit, or I should say everyone quits, no one fails in this business. But the mindset's a big thing, and that's exactly, you said, you get cushy. So yeah, I get a couple fat deposits in the account, wake up, I don't got to get up at 8 a.m. I can get up at 8:15, 8:30,
Yeah.
do that 3 or 4 times, and then 2 weeks later you're going,
Uh-oh.
oh boy.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it definitely
So it's all
gets
about
messy.
I'm still trying to find that consistency measure, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm focused on. I know I can talk to people. I know I can buy the leads. I've proven myself the results. The final key piece is just showing up every single day.
That's huge. And that leads us right into the final question here. Let's talk about goals. Let's put it out there.
Yep.
Because I know you've got some big goals for this year. So first of all, as far as personal production, how many families are you committing to this year? Because I know we've talked about this before in the year, but now we're closing on April, 4 months into the year. I'm curious, has that number changed? What are you committing to this year?
I feel like it has changed around. I have a couple different pieces of paper with it. When coming back from convention, I wanted to do the, just Hall of Fame, 400 families. And then I start to see all these other people up on stage saying, I've done this much. Here's where I came from background wise. Here's what my week looked like. And I start thinking to myself, wow, they're only running 4 or 5 more appointments than me per week. Wow, they're only closing 3 or 4 extra families per week. Like these are big things when you think of 400 families, like in a big chunk, but when you break it down into small bite pieces, like a couple extra appointments a day is not hard. Like 1 or 2 extra sales per week is not hard. So for me, it's went from just wanting to hit the Hall of Fame. My goal is 600.
True.
Yeah, so 600 families helped.
You heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here first. I want a good portion of that to be life, and then after convention, there seeing all the possibilities with how much more we can take it a step further with our current client base. Like I've really tried to dive into the
100%,
advanced market side of things too. Which
with the simple retirement solutions and all the training and availability that's there, I think that overwhelms a lot of agents getting into
Definitely.
it. Wait, I can help people with retirement now?
Yep.
Say what? But man, it's so simple.
Yeah.
People overcomplicate life insurance. Bob dies, Mary gets a check. Go talk to Bob and Mary.
Right.
They need it. They need your help.
Right.
Go have that conversation. Hey, Bob's got some money from his 401k that he had, and he doesn't want it to go to nothing,
Yep.
you can help with that too.
Correct.
And so many different things. That's just small examples of it, but it's such a simple process. The training, the help, the support is here. You just got to put in the work and look to help people, and it's there. So 600 families between the life production and retirement production there. And then I know you're looking to help some people into it. We were just talking to a new agent that you're working with before we started hitting record here. So what's your goal for your team size? How many families a month do you want your team to be helping come into this year?
So, I mean, coming to the end of this year, I think everyone's dream is to be on that logo. So I would
Yeah.
love for them to be hitting 100. I'm in that weird stage to where I started off real hot at the beginning of the year recruiting, have piled up more of my own personal production, and now I'm trying to find that balance of recruiting, helping my team, but also still paying the bills because someone's
Yeah.
got to keep the lights on over here. So,
Absolutely.
I'd say aside from personal production goal, I'm looking to I I don't know if I can handle the big team. And I say that now, maybe I'll watch this a couple months later and
Right.
laugh at myself.
That's the crazy part about this business.
I want more quality over quantity. Like
Sure.
I understand. I've tried to help. The friends, it can be really hard to say no or say yes to. But like I'm trying to just find quality people who are tired of their situation, who've been tired of their situation. I have always felt like I have in everything I did, like not giving my 100%. Like I've given 99%. I've always felt like that way. Either whether it was football, whether it was something this or that. Like I've always just kind of given up right there at the end. Either I was winning enough and I didn't care to try and reach that next level because I've done well in other sports and national titles here, there, that. But I always felt like I didn't keep going. This is a path that I feel like I am giving more than my 100% to.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for other people who also want to do that. So if
That's
you
huge.
are unhappy with where you're at, you've been unhappy, you are unhappy enough that you actually want to make a change and take action, like come check us out because you are going to find that when you believe in yourself, when you work hard and when you surround yourself by an environment like we're in, like I would not be able to do this every day if I didn't work with the people that I worked with.
Yeah.
Because if I'm having my bad days, I call Drew or David or vice versa, or I call you or I call Mike or Mindy, whoever it may be. And it's not like I can always rely on you guys to pick me back up, but I know that you're going to be able to send stuff, set me straight, and that's going to help me out more down the road that day, that week, that month. So
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah.
So we're looking to help 600 families personally. We're looking to a logo here in our business means you're an official team with a name,
Yep.
with a logo, with an identity. That's 100 families a month that your team's helping. So really only takes about 7-8 people outside of yourself
Yeah.
that are going to work and helping
Right.
helping families, and I look forward to it being any small part of that.
Yeah.
And I think that that's 100% doable. And I think that you're going to speak to a lot of people. A lot of people are going to see
Yeah.
you here and hear you and think, man, yeah, it is time for a change. And
Yep.
and I hope they reach out to you. How do they find you if they're in that spot and they're looking to get into this and they're related to you? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah. I mean, Instagram handle's pretty easy. Matt_Ruzika. Tongue twister last name RUZICKA. Little ugly face on there. You'll find me riding a bicycle on my little Instagram. But other than that, reach out to me. I mean, if you can't get a hold of me some way, DM on the page or something. We'll be able to get my phone number out there. I'm always happy to chat. I'm up all night if you can't tell because the bags, but I'm here to talk.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you sharing. Appreciate you sharing the struggles, sharing the wins, shooting everyone straight. It's an incredible business, and it gives you the control that corporate America won't ever give you. And I'm excited to for you to see that.
Thank you.
You're taking those reins, and I think a lot of people will join you on that mission. So appreciate
I
you being
hope.
on today, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Absolutely.